welcome to Living Room Requests.
Hello there, my name's Matt Redman.
I'm Patricia Hammond.
Very good. We're getting slightly better at this because we're
More like a
approaching...
1950s television
Yeah.
vibe.
So what you do basically is you request songs for us to play. What a novel concept.
I know, but the novelty is that it's any song.
Literally any song.
Any song.
Because you know when you go to a concert or say a jazz gig or a folk gig and people say, oh, can you play that? You know, possible chance if it's a popular song.
Yeah.
But not in Living Room Request because it can be anything. And on the subject of that, this week, Wednesday the 16th of December, will be your last opportunity to make any Christmas requests.
For before Christmas.
So that they're broadcast before Christmas. So we'll write that in the description below, which is the little V or the down arrow or the show more, read more. And that will allow you to get your request broadcast before Christmas by us.
Yes.
What we're going to start with today.
We're going to start with for Teresa. Thank you very much, Teresa. This is the circle song or the sacred circle song, Old Woman is Watching, or Weave and Mend. And it's kind of a folk song.
So it's got three titles.
I don't know. I could never find it. Was very hard to find this. Had to write it out actually from a couple of recordings. But it was of the level. There's two different levels of having to write things out. There's the Matt Redman level and there's the Patricia Hammond level. This was Patricia Hammond level. So, it's not exactly...
It does the job.
Well, let's hope. Old woman is watching over you in the darkness of the storm. She is watching. She's weaving, mending, gathering the fragments. She is watching over you. Weave and mend, gather the fragments safe within a sacred circle. Sisters, weave and mend, old woman, weave and mend. Old woman is weaving, gathering the threads, her bones become the loom. She's weaving, she's watching, weaving, gathering the colors. She's watching over you. Weave and mend, gather the fragments safe within a sacred circle. Sisters, weave and mend, old woman, weave and mend. For years I've been watching, waiting for old woman, feeling lost and so alone. I've been watching, now I find her weaving, gathering the colors. Now I find her in myself. Weave and mend, gather the fragments safe within a sacred circle. Sisters, weave and mend, old woman, weave and mend,
And for anybody who happens to play the mandolin, you will have noticed that I was contorting my fingers rather oddly because I'm using alternative tuning and
That should be his middle name, Matt Alternative Tuning Redman.
you don't need to. Well, I don't know if that's strictly
You do
true.
a lot of it. How many times in this concert are you doing alternative tuning? And how
Well,
many songs are there?
3 out of 3. But I tell you something, that's a rare exception.
A rest in the case. Rare exception.
Yeah, because on the mandolin we have strings in what's called courses, pairs, and this is a
Every time you say courses, I think corsets.
Well, you were, but it's a hangover from much earlier times of making instruments in the Middle Ages, in fact, and medieval times, in fact. So to cut a long story short, usually on the mandolin we tune all of these pairs to the same pitch, but you don't always have to do that. And it was popular around the heyday of the mandolin time in Britain, or in the British Empire as it was, and the USA, definitely to have alternative tunings and tune some of those pairs not the same
Lots
pitch,
of options.
like this. So you will notice that I'm playing 2 notes effectively on one string, i.e. one course of strings have 2 different pitch, which I thought would be good on that.
It adds an extra bite.
It does. So we've got five notes.
Sounds more ancient.
5
I love
notes on
that
a
song.
4-coast
That's
instrument.
it's from 1981, but it sounds as if it's much older than
Yeah,
that.
it certainly does.
And it's a very ancient. Yes, I think it's quite wonderful.
And while I'm standing up,
Very Teresa request.
why don't you ask me about this shirt?
Oh yes, nice shirt, Matt.
Well, it's funny you should say that, Patricia, because this particular shirt is one of the debut announcements.
Debut announcement.
The fact that Patricia is quite a prolific eBayer of
I got too much stuff.
a lot of clothes,
I got too much
accessories,
stuff.
etc. And let me just cut the long story short and say that
You can buy
this shirt. I am a
Put
living,
the link in the description to my
model.
eBay. Many of the dresses you've seen in this series you can buy because
There you go.
I wear them once.
We're not joking.
No.
So check out Patricia's eBay
I got too many clothes.
to see some of my shirts.
So to see.
That I think would be better on somebody else.
I haven't repeated one dress in this whole series, and there have been how many concerts?
Exactly.
53?
And I'll tell you something else now. We'll wash it before we post it. and iron it.
This dress is actually one of the few that you can still buy. It's from What Katie Did. What Katie Did. It's vintage sort of repro, and this is a second. They're for £75 instead of 100 and whatever her normal dresses are, because it's a second. Because shock horror, the petticoat is white instead of black to match the dress. So fine by me. I don't care. It's a lovely dress. I'm very happy to have it.
All the details of all the dresses and all of the the shirts and jackets for me are all the measurements are all on Patricia's YouTube. All on Patricia's eBay.
eBay.
So now we're going to do the request for
Yeah,
John.
you'll
I
know the
believe.
secrets. This request is for John. Lovely romantic request from John. This is my silent love, or as it's also known, Jazz Nocturne. It's also known as, because it's just so romantic, but the jazzers want it anyway. It's from 1932. Thank you to the Jazz Age Sheet Music Facebook group for having provided me with the music for this. It's a woman who wrote it, Dana Suesse, Suesse, and it's very beautiful. It's lovely. Can't wait to do it. Thank you, John. I would never have done it if you hadn't asked for it. That's life is short, you know. So it's brilliant. for you like I'd reach for a star, worshipping you from afar, living with my silent love. I'm like a flame dying out in the rain, only the ashes remain, smoldering like my silent love. How I long to tell all the things I have planned. Still, it's wrong to tell. You would not understand. You'll go along never dreaming I care, loving somebody somewhere, leaving me my silent love. You'll go along never dreaming I care, loving somebody somewhere, leaving me my silent love. Oh, mournful.
Very
I
nice.
love that one. Mournful. Sheet music. Sheet music is all sorts of fun stuff. 1932.
If you enjoyed that one as well, you can consider pressing the thumbs up button, the like
That's
button, which is the same
appreciated.
thing.
That's
Subscribe.
much appreciated.
There's one other thing that they can do, which even if they don't want to like or subscribe to the video, and can you remember what it is? They can share the video.
Oh, yes, yes.
You can share the video. Because that's good, because we get more views. Right, what is this next
Yes.
song?
Ernest has been very, very patient. He's asked for two very unusual and interesting requests. Of course, be unusual and interesting. He's asked for David Wilkes' When David Heard, which is sort of 1600s, I think, 1500s piece. That's next time to look forward to. And Amsterdam. Now, he has told me that he wants it in French. Now, that's like condemning me, basically, because nobody will ever be as good as Jacques Brel in his original, who wrote it. Nobody. Just forget it. And in fact, the internet, and particularly YouTube, is awash in various people saying not as good as Jacques Brel, particularly the French. Going, nope, not as good as Jacques Brel. And, I mean, fair enough. Doesn't really matter because looking at my YouTube stats, nobody from France ever watches this channel,
No.
so it doesn't really matter. It's
By the way, please leave a
America,
comment below if
you're
you're
French
from
watching this
No,
channel.
seriously though.
It's if you look at the stats, it's American, English, German, and then Japan and India to switch places, sort of, and then it's Canada. And it's funny, I'm Canadian and it's way down. But anyway, Amsterdam, yeah. So nobody will be as good as Jacques Brel, and fair enough, I agree. If I'd done it in English, I might have had a chance. I mean, you could say that I'm a woman, and so therefore, well, you're a woman, so why compare you to Jacques? Except that bloody Edith Piaf has also recorded it, so forget it. I'm condemned. Thanks, Ernest. I'm condemned. But, you've asked for it, you've specified French, so we're going to do it in French. And, yeah, the words are amazing. I mean, if you don't know them, look them up. Truly, truly great. Shall we do? Oh, and we're gonna.
We'll play the oud. I mean, it's just a minor point, but
I like this. I don't think there's an oud version, so that's different.
sounds a bit more ancient and ancient.
Well, I mean, ports are full of exotic things, and I think that there would have been in all of this, probably something from the east would have made its way to the port. Ports are full of imported and weird things. Sailors bring back all manner of things for their women, and this is about sailors and their women.
That's
So.
it. Good.
Good. Without further ado.
Yeah, without further ado, nous vous remercions de commenter en dessous si vous êtes en France.
He's actually very fluent in German and French.
Let's go, on y va.
Dans le port d'Amsterdam, il y a des marins qui chantent, les rêveux qui les hantent au large d'Amsterdam. Dans le port d'Amsterdam, il y a des marins qui dorment comme des oriflammes le long des berges mornes. Dans le port d'Amsterdam, il y a des marins qui meurent, pleins de bière et de drames aux premières lueurs. Mais dans le port d'Amsterdam, il y a des marins qui naissent dans la chaleur épaisse de l'angours océan. Dans le port d'Amsterdam, il y a des marins qui mangent sur des nappes trop blanches des poissons ruisselants. Ils vous montrent les dents à croquer la fortune, à décroisser la lune, à bouffer des aubins. Et ça sent la morue jusque dans le cœur des frites que de grosses mains invitent à revenir en plus. Puis se lèvent en riant dans un bruit de tempête, referment la braguette et sortent en rôtant. Dans le port d'Amsterdam, il y a des marins qui dansent en se frottant la panse sur la panse des femmes. Et ils tournent et ils dansent comme des soleils crachés dans le son déchiré d'un accordéon rance. Ils se tordent le cou pour mieux s'entendre rire jusqu'à ce que tout à coup l'accordéon expire. Alors le geste grave, alors le regard fier, ils ramènent le batave jusqu'à pleine lumière. Dans le port d'Amsterdam, il y a des marins qui boivent et reboivent et qui reboivent encore. Ils boivent à la santé des putains d'Amsterdam, d'Hambourg et d'ailleurs. Enfin, ils boivent aux dames qui leur donnent leur joli corps, qui leur donnent leur vertu pour une pièce en or. Et quand ils auront bien bu, se plantent le nez au ciel, se mouchent dans les étoiles et pissent quand je pleure sur les femmes infidèles. Yeah, I think that was the song. That was the song. It was one of many versions you can see on this platform. On the subject of French, I can speak a bit of it. We went to we were singing, performing, playing in a French place, and we went down at the hotel at breakfast, and I said bonjour, he said bonjour, we both said the bloody bonjour, and the guy down there, he goes, monsieur parle français.
Oh dear.
From one word, he could tell I wasn't as good as him.
Which is unfortunate because Patricia's Canadian, and of course, absolutely everybody's bilingual.
Oh, absolutely everybody.
Anyway, listen, I can smell your dinner, so I think
Onions
we need to
frying.
leave the video right there, and we'll see you on the next one.
Yes.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.